Hi, so I've got one last video for you before we take a little break for Christmas as it's just around the corner. So with today's video we're going to be talking about link summoning, which is the final form of special summoning from the extra deck. So I think this is a really good place to wrap up before we break for the holidays, so here we go. So link summoning is one of the newest extra deck type of summon mechanics, and it's based on sending a total number of monsters from the field to the graveyard in order to bring it out. So the previous summoning mechanics focused on the levels, whether that's turning something into a rank 4 XYZ, or whether that's using a tuner and a non-tuner to add the levels to make the synchro monster level. So here it's a bit different. So I just want to show you these cards. I'm actually arranged them this order because this is what we call a link 1 and this is a link 5. So we've got a link 1, a link 2, link 3, link 4 and link 5 monster. So what happens is link monsters only have attacks. They can only be put in face up attack position. It's really important to note that they can't be summoned in defense position or set in defense position. They literally stay in attack mode. That's something really unique about these monsters, and you can see that they've got arrows on them as well. So this link 1 monster, as you can see in the corner here, and link, it's denoted here, has 1 arrow. This link 2 monster here, link 2, has 2 arrows, and you can see the pattern here. So this is a link 3 monster which has 3 arrows, link 4 with 4 arrows, and finally link 5 with 5 arrows. So I think there is a link 6 monster, but I haven't brought that out. So the way you do things is you need to still summon something on the board first. So let's just special summon Panthera because we're allowed to do that if we control no other monsters in our main monster zone. And she allows us actually to link into Rock of the Vanquisher. So again, with any summoning from the extra deck, make sure that you read the small print and check that you're meeting its requirements. So this Rock of Vanquisher requires 1 Vanquish Soul monster, which Panthera is. So what you do to link summon is you just put her in the graveyard and special summon this. Now link monsters are quite unique again in the sense that when you link summon them properly like this, the first place on the field they have to go is one of your 2 extra monster zones. So you pick one. If you want to link summon again, you can't just put it into the other one because that's for your opponent. What you need to do is take into account where the arrow points. So you can see here that there's 1 arrow that points directly below. So what happens is with the link monsters is that the red arrow electrifies this space beneath it, which means that if you want to link summon again, this is the only place on your field that you can do so. That's really important if you've got a combo deck where you're summoning the field with monsters. You want to make sure that your path is clear if you do want to summon again. So let's just say that we have another 2 monsters on the field, just for example's sake. Okay, so this is what our field looks like. We want to now summon a link 2 monster. Okay, so we can use these 2 monsters, taking these to the graveyard, to summon our link 2. So you see here it requires 2 non-link monsters. So these aren't link monsters, so you can summon successfully into IP Masquerina, which is a link 2. So remember what I said about the electrified zones? You need to summon her directly below your link zone that you already have. So that's how you do a link 2. So the way that you do a link 3 is you would need either, so this is where things get a little bit more complicated. So this is a link 3. So let's just take our board apart again and just start again. So with link 3, you can either use 3 monsters on the field. Easy, right? So you just remove 3 things and you bring that out, into this field, into this zone. Alternatively, let's just redo the board. Let's say we manage to get an IP Masquerina on the field, which is a link 2. So let's say we put her there, and we also have just a random other monster on the field. And note here that IP's arrows point either side, so you want to try and keep them free as much as you can. So what you can do is you can also summon a link 3 monster by using 1 link 2 material, because that counts as 2, as well as an extra body, so that's your third. And that goes to the graveyard, and that's summoned out. So you can see there's different ways of doing it. Alternatively, you can also use one link 1 monster, let's say, and one link 2 monster. So as long as it adds up to 3. Let me give you another example. So we've got access code talker here, which needs 2 or more effect monsters. So what you could do is you could have a nightmare unicorn on the field and another random monster, and then you would send this away and this away, because you see this is a link 3, so that would count as 3. 3 plus 1 equals 4, and that would go there. Alternatively, if you had 4 things on the field, you could just say, you know, I'm just going to link into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it requires a minimum of 2 link monsters. The other thing is that it can also be made using 2 link 2s. So for example, this is another link 2 card, and this is a link 2 card. So if you had, let's say, IP Masquerena on the field, pointing to a little knight that you managed to summon as well, you could say, oh, I'm gonna link these off into an access code talker, because it's a link 2, that's a link 2, and that's a link 4. So 2 plus 2 equals a 4, and it also meets the condition. You need to have at least 2 effect monsters to go into it. So you can see, as long as the maths adds up, then you're fine. And you can go even higher. So this is quite a special link monsters. It's a link 5, and you need 4 or more effect monsters. So essentially, to get her out, you're going to need 4 bodies on your field. So one, whether that's 1, let's put her there, and that there, and let's give our opponent 1 as well. Okay. So the other thing is that link monsters, even though it does say link 2, you can still count it as just 1 body. So link monsters, no matter how high their link is, yeah, so even if this is link 4, let's just replace it there for example's sake, you can still count it as just 1. So for the summon of this particular monster, you want 4 plus effect monsters. So 4 or more. You can even use 5 if you want, and the special thing is you can also use 1 monster your opponent controls as material to link summon this card. So what you can do to go for her, you're going to treat all of these as 1, even though this is a link 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to make the extra 5, because remember you've still got to fulfill this criteria, this card allows you to use your opponent's monster. So there you go, you've got 5 bodies. They get all sent to the graveyard, and you can summon her. So that's a really neat way of killing the board. Other way of doing it, give your opponent that. Let me put this here, and let me put this here, and this here. So again, you are still meeting the criteria with this board here, because you've got 1 body, 2, that's 2. This one, this time we're going to treat it as its actual link rating, which is a 2. So that's 3, 4. Okay, so we've already met the minimum of 4 monsters, but we need to make it a link 5. So we use its effect and use the opponent's monster, and that is our 5th. So you can summon this card by using 4 monsters, provided you have a link 2. So that is the basis of link summoning, which I think takes a little bit of getting your brain around when it comes to whether or not you count a link monster when you're link summoning as its number here, or as just a 1. Remember, these monsters can only ever be counted as a 1, but some people can link climb, so it becomes quite easy to build things up, because once you've got a high rated link on the field, it's very easy to just summon something else and then go into a really powerful monster like this access code talker. So hopefully that was clear enough. As with always, if there's anything that I could have explained more clearly, please do let me know. Like I said at the start, this is going to be my last video before Christmas, so I hope you all have a lovely Christmas, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, just have a lovely time off, and I hope to be back after the new year with some slightly more complex videos about the game, but which are still definitely needed for beginners. So I'll be hoping to cover things like hand traps, counter hand traps, triggers, as well as spell speeds, and going on into turn priority. So yeah, have a really happy holiday and see you soon.